Hey guys, welcome back to Playtech TV. Today we're going to be looking at the DJI Mavic Air Fly More combo bundle, which I'm really excited about because we've had a long history with drones here at Playtech, all the way back to the very start, and DJI have always been one of our favorite manufacturers. Now back in the early days of drones, back when the first generation of mainstream consumer-oriented drones started coming out, some of you guys might even remember that stuff, but it was absolutely terrible. You'd be crashing them all over the place. We'd have people take them out of the shop and then an hour later they'd be back with the thing just smashed into pieces. And for a long time, that was essentially what owning a drone was all about. It was basically gambling every time you went out. Then along came DJI with their Phantom series, and they kind of turned the industry on its head a little bit because all of a sudden you didn't need to be like an absolute pro pilot in order to actually fly these things and have them come back down safely. From that stage on, you could actually, basically buy it, take it home, and in the same day get out flying it and actually be reasonably confident and doing some little tricks and things like that. And ever since then, every generation that we've seen come from DJI has just got like a little bit more stable, a little bit more responsive and everything like that, all the way up until today. And I've heard like amazing stories about the new Mavic stuff, so I'm really excited that I've got one here to check out. And I think I'll run through the box first, show you what it comes with, show you all the accessories, because this is the Fly More combo, so it comes with a lot of cool stuff. Then, hopefully weather permitting, we're going to get it outside, we're going to fly it around a little bit, maybe even fly it inside as well, fly it through the warehouse or something like that, and see how we go. So let's take a look at what is in the actual bundle first. First up, we've got the actual drone itself, and as you can see, it's absolutely tiny. It's about the size of my hand. Now we've got the accessories bag, which holds all your little bits and pieces that come with it. What have we got here? We've got the remote controller, and then we've just got all the quick start guide, the manuals, and all that accessories and stuff. So now let's look at this bag. This is a very nice, tidy setup, and obviously, as you can see by all the crazy amounts that I'm pulling out of it, there is absolutely heaps going on here, and you're really getting a lot of value out of this setup. So first of all, we've got two sets of spare propellers. They come in these nice little envelopes there that'll keep them all safe and tidy. We've got the USB-C communication cable. We've also got a battery power bank adapter that will allow you to connect your battery to USB devices if you want to charge them up while you're out flying with the drone. And then we've also got the lightning and micro USB cables that will allow you to connect your compatible smartphone to the remote controller. There is also already a USB-C one currently installed on the remote. Then we've got a USB-C to micro USB adapter again for the charge cable, and some spare joysticks for the remote controller. And then we've got the two spare intelligent flight batteries, which is in addition to the one that is already installed on the drone, for a total of 3, and then the battery charging hub, which will allow you to charge up to 4 batteries all at once, just by simply folding it out and plugging all the batteries in like so. Now let's take a look at the actual drone itself. As you can see, it's absolutely tiny, almost pocket-sized. Just fold out the arms like so, and remove the shield covering the gimbal and the camera. The battery is easy to remove and then replace with a fully charged one while you're out flying. It takes 2 seconds. And the landing gear just folds out like so. Round the back, we've got this little compartment which has a micro SD card slot and a USB connection. And now before we take off, we're just going to put together these propeller guards, just because we like to play it safe here. They just snap together like so, and then you can connect them to the actual drone itself. It's actually a fairly simple procedure to clip them on. It's just quite hard to catch on camera. I don't know if you'll be able to make out what I'm doing here, but essentially the propeller guards just kind of go up from the bottom, and then just there's a little latch that kind of just clips over the top like so and locks it in place. Now you've got to do this on the front and the back on both sides just to make sure that they're securely in place. The last thing that you want is for something to come loose or fly off while you're in the middle of the flight, so make sure those guys are nice and safe. Now, before we take off, let's take a look at the controller here. It's absolutely tiny. Like everything else with the Mavic Air, it kind of folds up nice and small. You can remove these joysticks to pack it down even smaller in the bag as well. And yeah, just that seems to be the theme. Just everything folds up nice and small and nice and easy to carry around. On the bottom here, we've got this kind of cool bracket, and that's where our actual smartphone will connect, and that's where it's going to hook up. It's kind of tricky to show you a good angle, but essentially the charging port on the plug plugs into that USB-C connection on the side there. Like so. So now that we're all powered up and we've given it the required firmware updates, which you'll need to run before you load it up the first time, we're all good to go and we're ready to give it a quick flight test indoors just to make sure everything is hooked up right. And as you can see, it takes off straight away. All we have to do is press the takeoff button and then slide to confirm, and it will just pop straight up into the air. The sensors will make sure it doesn't bump into anything, and then we can just give it a quick little play around just to make sure that everything's going as expected and that we haven't messed something up. And as you can see, everything is totally as expected. Look how stable it is just hovering in the air there. Now, we're going to try this again outside and see if we can make it as stable in the wind, but inside it is rock solid. It's almost like it's on a tripod or hanging from a string or something like that. That is how stable and just how responsive this Mavic Air is. It's actually pretty incredible. And then once again, to land, just tap the land button and then slide to confirm, and there it is, no worries. Now let's take it outside. There's a vacant lot across the road from the shop, so let's put on some epic music, let's have a play around, and let's see what this thing can do. As you can see, it's pretty overcast and crappy weather to start with, and we weren't actually sure how well it was going to fly, but as you can see, it's super stable and just super smooth. Like I said before, it's almost like it's on a tripod or something like that, or like hanging from a string. And this is in a kind of gross, overcast, windy day, so we're really impressed by how strong and how stable the little propellers on these things must be in order to maintain that kind of balance, really. Now we just did a couple quick flights through, flying around the car park, flying past the sign, checking out the vacant lots across the road, but the weather wasn't really going our way. So we kind of had a bit of a play around with it, and then we kind of packed it away for the day. But luckily, the following day, the weather sort of came around a little bit, and we managed to get out there early in the morning and really catch some of that sun. And you can really see what a difference it makes. Look at the sky, look at the grass. The color and the actual image quality on these things are amazing. We can go up to 4K on this, but obviously because we're on YouTube here, we've chopped it down to 1080p. But just look at it, it looks stunning. It's so smooth, it's so stable, and it's really incredible. It kind of makes this boring industrial area of the North Shore here where our store is located, makes it just really pop out and just look incredible. So we just took it for a couple laps of the neighborhood, kind of just checked out what's going on here. We didn't really want to annoy anyone too bad because we're in a kind of industrial area, so we just kind of stuck kind of local. But I would have loved to get this guy down to somewhere crazy, like one of the sort of more scenic areas of our country, New Zealand, for those of you watching from overseas. And maybe I will sometime, maybe I'll do a follow-up video. But as you can see, this thing is just super smooth. There is a real trick to learning to fly it and being so smooth with it. I can't say that I'm super good at that just yet, but the thing is, it's so responsive. It reacts to every single little movement that you do on the joystick. So just getting those slow sweeps going through, you just kind of got to get a feel for it. Now these next features are some of my favorites. This one here, boomerang mode, you essentially select yourself on the screen of the controller, and then the drone will actually automatically fly around you and do this big kind of sweeping boomerang movement without you having to control it, which is just super cool if you're trying to get some epic shots of, you know, selfies at the beach or something like that. I don't know, but it's super cool. Next up, we've got my absolute favorite one, which they call asteroid mode, where the drone essentially flies back and up, way up in the sky, and then creates a 360-degree panoramic kind of image and stitches it all together. So super impressed by this Mavic. Once again, here we come down for our final landing. Like I said before, it's super easy. Bring it in nice and close to the ground. You get about a sort of meter up, and then hit the land button and just swipe to confirm, and it'll come right down and it'll land perfect. No worries, every time nice and safe. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As you can see, I've had a great time with this DJI Mavic Air Fly More bundle. As I said before, every generation that they've put out has become more responsive, more stable in the air, and just more fun generally, and also more accessible. You know, like I wouldn't feel bad about giving this to someone who's never touched a drone before in their life. You wouldn't really have the same worry that you would with older generations. So that's all for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something. If you are looking at checking out the Mavic Air, then definitely go for it. Hopefully this has helped you make an informed decision. And I'll see you next time. That's Playtech TV.